Welcome to Set the Record. I'm Malcolm Anthony, all the way from Houston, Texas. We got Cody.
What it do from the 713?
Hey, subscribe to the show wherever you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. We're out here working. Okay. Out here working. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Set the Record Pod. Like the Facebook page, Set the Record Podcast. Look, we're talking NBA. We're talking playoffs. We're talking second round. We're talking who's going to move on to the conference finals. And right now, man, it's looking like the great stuff for Philly, man. It's looking
team
like
I've been rooting for, supporting all year. Hey, Philly actually just became the favorites to win the championship, like odds-wise.
Okay.
Became the favorites, but yeah, man. Hey,
I see it.
Huge win to take the 3-2 lead over Boston, man.
Looked good in it too. Good in it. Defensively sound. Everybody got involved. It was really nice. It was a good win.
Yep, and what I like about this win is, they were in control for basically the whole game, right? It's like the tides have kind of flipped now to where games 1 and 2, well, 1 through 3, really, it's like it felt like a real battle where it came down to everything. Game 4, where Philly won, it's still like they were winning, but then Boston kind of came into it. It's like this game is where like Philly starting to figure it out now. They're figuring out how to get the lead and keep it. Like every time Boston felt like they were going to go on a little bit of a run, they stepped up and they stopped it. Shout out to Tyrese Maxey. Hey, he was due for a good game eventually, bro. He wasn't, he was having a pretty bad series, for the most part. Yeah. Here we go, man. Game 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah, game 5, Philadelphia wins at 115-103 over Boston. And as you said, Joel Embiid, the MVP, 33 points, Maxey, 30 points. And he had huge shots, 6 of 12 from 3. I mean, it was every one of them were needed.
Yep. Hey, speaking of huge shots, you know who else had some huge shots? Off their bench, Daniel House Jr. Shout out to my Rockets legend.
Hey, yeah, man.
Hey, bro.
Man, the bench is lately
5 for 7 off the bench, 10 points. Timely shots. He really hit them when it mattered, and
like you said, it was when Boston would try to make a run. You guys would be up 15. Boston would try to cut it to 9. House would go down and hit a shot. Like it would be buckets like that.
Those heartbreaking shots. It's those like daggers that go into your soul and kind of
because Boston they were turning the ball over pretty untimely as well. They just like they'd start a fast break and then all of a sudden they'd lose the ball. Philly would come down and make a shot to kind of turn it out. Yeah, it was a rough game to me for Boston late, but it was a good win for Philly, man. And James Harden looked pretty good in this one compared to games 2 and 3, right?
Atrocious.
So, not good games for him. Just, in just games 2 and 3, 20 points collectively, 3 of 23 from the field and 1 of 8 from 3. And just terrible version of James Harden. And that's really not who he is overall, but man, we see some inconsistencies, and one of the other side of that inconsistency is one of doing a 40 burger, another one.
Right, it's like an on-off pattern, It's like you'll give a 40, then you'll cool down for a little bit. He's recharging, but
this game 5 was like a happy middle.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm good to see that. If he can just keep that up for the rest of the series, like just the next game, right? Hopefully close it out. Then that's fine by me. Just give me a solid 20 and 10. I'll take that from James Harden. But yeah, man, first time in James Harden's career where he's had 40 points twice in a series.
In one series, yeah.
Which is crazy to think about, right? He also averages like 27 versus Boston in the playoffs. So
he knows who he's up against. He's a smart, like I say, he's a cerebral player. He's really
smart. What he has to do.
He knows, and I think he could do it, man. I want to believe in my heart of hearts. This is the time James is going to prove me everyone wrong. The world. He's like, because you got to think about it. Doc Rivers is on this team who's lost 3-1 leads. You got Joel, who's a known flopper. James Harden, who's a known flopper. Overall, like just, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
Career where people kind of criticize them or or whatever for and James in playoffs and all that stuff. But this is the moment where, man, they could overcome all of that in one playoff run.
Yep.
And I really would honestly love to see that as a basketball fan. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how this series plays out. Right. I don't know if Boston has any quit in them. I've never seen them look so disgusted or degraded at the end of a game. They look defeated at the end of Game 5 today. But
I mean, because when you think about it, they went up. They took 2 games in a row. You know, like okay. Home. Right. They lost their home court, right? That already that makes you feel some type of way. You're like, all right, whatever, we're gonna bounce back.
Yeah, but dog, at home today, they were getting booed by their home fans.
Yeah, but that's what they do. You know, that's what about not in like a hateful way, but it's like they will do the same thing. No, I'm saying like, you know, like Boston is one of those environments where like, you know, if your own fans will boo you if
I know, but when Philly's in the building, you gotta stand strong.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, because Philly used to that. They know all about it. You know?
No, that's why Philly ran with that pressure. There was like their own.
Oh yeah, we put it on them. Yeah. They
play better with booze.
But yeah, man. Last guy I really want to highlight in the series. Obviously, we haven't talked about him yet, but Joel Embiid, right?
Yeah.
Game by game, missed game 1 due to his injury. Game 2, it was like his feel out game, right? It's like, you know, we can afford to lose this game, so if it goes bad, it goes bad. Game 3 was kind of similar. Games 4 and 5, he's been really picking it up, and I love the aggressiveness that he's had.
Yeah, first half today, 21 points. You know, seriously, that's what started off the momentum for Philly, and the rest of the team in the second half really continued that, making big shots.
Yeah, that's what I was. And you know, I don't know if I've got on record to say it right. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast. I've told you this before, but you know, my prediction always was I think whoever of these 2 teams comes out of this series goes on and wins the championship, right? Just because I believe that those are the 2 teams the 2 strongest teams left. You know, like no disrespect to the Western teams because they got some heat over there, but yeah. It's just like me, like kind of falling back on like, you know, if Philly wins, I do think that they can go ahead and win the championship. You know, like they're the betting favorites now. It's kind of set, not set, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's on the table for them. They have the opportunity.
It's an option now. Now that the Bucks are out, you know that's who they would have been facing.
Up 3-2 right now on Boston.
Hey, speaking of who they would be facing right now, Knicks Heat up 3-1. Tell me what you think about that series.
Man, it's been a boring series. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I really was hoping for more. But I didn't. I mean, the Knicks. I think I've said this before. I mentioned they were fraudulent or whatever. But this is a team that they're just not up there yet. They're just not quite there yet. And Jalen Brunson's
their first year in the playoffs as that core.
Yeah, no, Jalen Brunson's awesome. They need another guy. They need to either trade Randall or trade Barrett or make some package deal to get someone else out there. They need something else. I'm just not sure the fire is there all the time. It's just. I don't know. So the Heat, they have what it takes. They seem to have a Jimmy Butler and a bunch of guys who try so hard all the time. I mean,
that's the thing about the Heat. They will try.
They will try harder than you every freaking time. Right. Yep. Every time. They will out hustle you. And
the Heat there's that team that wants it more, right?
And they do, and they did, because I watched this game and I saw them get so many freaking offensive rebounds. It felt like they were getting every rebound in this game, and they only actually out rebounded the Knicks by 9, but total they got the offensive rebounds 13-8. So and it felt like it was 31-8. It felt like they got every rebound, and the Heat were so dominant in that game.
Timely ones, man. You know, the ones that really count for double. But yeah, man. I mean, just the Heat are just the better team at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, they should.
The Knicks have that one win just from when Jimmy was out. Yeah, I think they close it out next game. Heat in 5.
They should.
And, you know, if you ask me, it's better for them to close out. Like, they should be urging to close it out in 5 just so that they could get the extra rest.
Yeah, but
Philly
that does damage for Philly, though.
What's up?
That does damage if Philly can't close Boston, though. You know, for Philly's sake, you want this series to continue.
Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah.
But
and, you know, and looking at this series, if it was to be like that, like a Philly versus versus Miami. The
Ooh.
winner of that series is going to come out banged up.
Oh, big time.
Because those are two teams that have dogs that will
They are fighting.
fight. They
mean,
will
for
fight,
real,
man.
someone's fighting. Like,
that's gonna happen. So, I mean, the Heat have a chance to do it too. You know, they could mess around and take on Boston or Philly and go to the finals as well. You know, like they have that team. They have that Jimmy Butler factor. You know, that's what he does. Jimmy Butler is a winner. Right?
Yeah, it seems like and he's got his playoff Jimmy, man. He does what he has to do in this mode to get the job done. And it seems like this is bubble Jimmy. Like this is that version of what we're getting here. So yeah, and we'll see how that part plays out. I've enjoyed watching it. But yeah, we'll the Heat versus whoever finishes in the Boston Philly series, man. It's gonna be awesome. So we'll move on to the west side. The best side is what I got to say on that. Yeah, Cody sees the east side winning the whole thing. I think the West, man. I think the West gets it, but the West.
Hey man, my team, like the team I root for, you know, my Houston squad, they in the West, so it's not like I got nothing against them, you know.
No, I know. They just ain't there, so you ain't going for it.
Right. All right. Oh yeah. Speaking of another 3-1 team, right?
Yeah.
Warriors, Lakers.
Yeah, Warriors, Lakers. And it was really by an unsung hero this time around. And I loved freaking watching every freaking bit of it, man. Lonnie freaking Walker, the fourth. 15, I think 15 points in the fourth quarter alone. Just
huge points.
Unconscious. And he played like he was in the game a pretty fair amount in this basketball game, but he showed up with buckets all fourth quarter.
No, for real. And it was once again like similar like with the Philadelphia situation. It's daggers to your heart, you know. It's like those because it's a guy that you don't expect to come out here and just murder you, you know. It's
no. Well, they weren't guarding. They were guarding. They make sure they had AD covered. LeBron was covered. It felt like Lonnie Walker could do whatever he wanted.
Just made him pay at that point, right? So yeah, Lakers up 3-1, but against the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
This is still a no team to sleep on. They could really mess around and come back and win the next 3 games in a row. Steph could give LeBron the reverse treatment, you know. It's like, hey, you know, how's it feel?
Yeah, he got him.
Do you think they can do it?
Do I think they could do it? No.
You don't.
I don't. I think that's too much, man. I think one good game out of AD over those 3 games that changes everything, and I think that'll happen. He's bad in odd number game or in even number games for some reason. He had an okay game in Game 4, 23 and 15. You know, pretty fine game. I don't think he's gonna have a bad game in Game 5. You know, I know they're going back to Chase, but I think AD in the next 3 games, he's got to have 3 straight bad games for the Lakers to lose. That's not going to happen.
All right. So, do you have the Warriors winning any games?
They should win They really should win Game 5. Yes.
I feel like they're winning that one, right? It's a home.
I think Lakers.
And you know what? I feel like this could still go 7, right? Because Warriors can win Game 5, right? Yep. And then you got to worry about Game 6. And you know, there's somebody on the Warriors who's known for Game 6s, right? You know,
it's Game 6 Clay. Yeah, if this goes to 7, the Lakers should be shitting their pants.
Right, because then all the momentum's flipped. It's, you know, like, well, we had this win, what just happened? They won 2 in a row. You know, they're feeling themselves. Our backs are against the wall now.
Yeah, so that means the Warriors have figured something out. You know, if they've won 2 games straight, I don't see that occurring. Honestly, I would be wrong on this one, and happily, I didn't think the Lakers had what it took to overcome the shooting. I mean, I just thought the pace the Warriors would out track the Lakers, honestly. Right. But right now, the Lakers should pull it off in 6. And thank goodness for the bench. You know, Lonnie Walker, really did what it needed to do. And for the Lakers, it's been like that. It's been guys different guys. Hachimura has done it in the game. Reeves has done it in the game. AD's kind of been on off. Like LeBron has been
kind of coasting a little bit, you know.
Kind of. He's averaging only like 20 some points.
22, I think.
Yeah, in the postseason, only 22.6 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists a game right now. Nothing crazy right now in the playoffs, but
I think that's smart of him, right? Because they're winning.
If he can coast and ride AD's coattails right now, seriously, or the team, I mean, in all retrospect,
not in a hating way, just I
mean it's in such a positive way because LeBron deserves this. Like, not having to freaking carry the whole team on his back the whole freaking time. He'll turn it on when he needs to, in game moments, in series moments. If they get to the finals or conference finals, he'll do what he has to do, man. That's LeBron. That's what he does. So if the Lakers can pull this off, man, you got to say something about what you think they might be able to pull off. If they pull off this series, it's going to be tough for the Nuggets, I think, to overcome. The Suns, man, I think they could shoot at the Lakers out the gym, but that's different. We'll get there. But yeah, sorry. Lakers now in 6. That's what I see. So
okay, that's a fair take, and it's, again, I agree with you on the LeBron take, right? It's smart to coast while you can still win, and then once you get to the finals, because that's been the concern, right? It's like, what if the Lakers have to keep battling this, like, through all this and this and this, and eventually when they get to the finals, LeBron's burnt, or like the whole team is burnt out. So it is a smart thing to do, kind of save your energy. Don't go too hard, right? But save it when you need it, right? Because he hasn't needed it yet.
Not yet. But and we've seen him defensively make plays and drive to the bucket on occasion, but nothing, no 30-point games from LeBron in the playoffs, which is a super, super abnormal start.
You don't see that often.
For LeBron James. But, man, I tell you who else is kind of having an abnormal start to the playoffs. Devin Booker, right? I mean, this is abnormal, impressive, incredible, undeniably great. He's averaging an incredible amount of points in these playoffs, and really he's averaging like 41 points a game in the wins, right? Last 2 games. Really, that's really most important when the Suns get back into the series on 79% from the floor. Yeah. Dog, that's video game numbers, man. I mean, I don't even do that.
They've been very efficient in those wins. Like, it's pretty crazy to think about. Especially Booker. Wait, what's the stat I saw? It was like he's made, like, in his last 50 shots, he's only missed, I forgot what the number was, but like he's barely been missing recently.
No,
like,
I know. I mean, like I said, 41.5 points on 79%.
There it is. Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's not real. That's not real.
It is video game numbers for real, like you said.
I mean, seriously. Yeah, but KD has actually showed up in game 4. He was kind of all right in game 3, but he's still scoring. He's still scoring, but he really showed up in game 4. Last 2 games, averaging 37.5 points, 10 rebounds, really giving Devin Booker the backup he needs with Chris Paul out. Campaign is running the floor. I didn't think Campaign had it in him, but man, he's keeping the pace.
You said it in the past, right? It was like, you can't have Campaign out there. Hey, he's been impressing. He's been
proving me wrong, and I'm glad with that, man. That's what I want to see.
Definitely
out there, just hustling, competing, and it's incredible. That's why I love this game. Anybody can do it, not literally, but anybody that's in the league can have their moment. Yeah. I mean, any one of these.
At the end of the day, these guys are NBA players. They're skilled. They can do it. They did it in high school. They did it in college, right?
They made it there for a freaking reason. So they're all super capable of being wonderful at any given moment. So yeah, and I'm glad, like I said, Campaign's getting his moment now, and really we can't forget Nikola Jokic in this series, in just general game 4 and a terrible loss. 53 points.
Those are the ones you hate to see, man. You feel bad for him on those, man. It's like, what can you do?
What can you do? He needed some help, is what he. I mean,
And that's what it comes down to in the playoffs for the Nuggets and for Jokic. At the end of the day, he has to do all the carrying. His help doesn't show up.
Well, Murray
Sometimes
was
he doesn't
there.
have it. It's like,
Murray, but everyone, all the supporting cast, bupkis to me. Caldwell Pope not good enough. Gordon not good enough. Michael Porter Jr. not good enough. They just did not play up to snuff. And in the bench alone, 11 points from the Nuggets bench. That's just never gonna cut it. Well, I'm trying to add it up right now.
Especially when the bench has been huge in the like 3 recent games, or it's like you can't have 11 bench points.
Yeah, well,
you have to have bench production.
Yeah, compared to 40 on the Suns, you know what I mean. Shamet showed up huge in this last game as well in their win. So right now, it seems like this is going to the home squad, and even right now, as we record. Suns
right now
on at halftime, just down by 3.
They brought it back. They was down like 14.
They were down pretty huge. Yeah, they were down pretty huge, but they have stormed back. But down at halftime, just by a 3-pointer. So we'll see how this one plays out.
I kind of want to wait it. We kind of wanted to wait till like game 5, like see who won the game before I gave my opinion. But I mean, this has been swaying in the direction of the home team just about for every game of the series, right? I think Denver should be able to just pull it out at the end. That's the scary thing for the Suns is like they need that from Booker.
Yeah,
right?
No,
because
right. They have to have KD and Booker give them 70, 80. I mean,
right, because Shamet, like for how great he is off the bench, that's not going to be an every night thing. He's 0 for 2 right now. They're not going to have those bench points every time. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, right now they have 8 bench points.
Yep. No, I know. It's not sustainable. But if the Nuggets, the other guys, if they can show up, this is a winnable series for them. Right now, Michael Jr. is having a great game. Murray is having a terrible game. You know what I mean? Caldwell Pope is having an off game. Like, so when one guy's on, others are off. So Nikola's just not getting the help he needs to pull this off. He's got plenty of guys capable, but they're just not doing it.
Man, looking at it live, this game it looks like one of those where the bench is just non-existent. The Suns have played 4 people off their bench, only have 8 points to show for it. Nuggets have 3 people so far off their bench. Only 11 points.
Yeah, Bruce Brown.
He's
out there playing. He plays good.
Hey, they that's gonna come back and bite them later. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's gonna you need the bench production when you're in the playoffs, especially when you get that deep in the second round. I guess they can get away with it because they're both doing it.
I think the Suns are playing it smart with them getting TJ Warren and Ross.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting shooters involved, and I think that's what they need from their bench is just guys to come in and get buckets. I mean, this is a team they need to score 120 points. I mean, this is what they need. They're trying to outscore you, man. They're not trying to outdefend you.
But I don't think I gave what I think overall for the series. I'm gonna just go Denver. Right? It's another one. They can go either way. Home teams won every time. If we follow that trend, Denver wins in 7. Yeah. But it's like at the same time in a game 7, it's Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. So it's like,
how do you choose? How do you not choose?
It's like it's really an either way thing because Jokic just had 53. On the other end, you could have a Jamal Murray game, MPJ game.
Yeah.
So it's like both sides have so many factors that play into it, and so much stuff outside of the main guy. So where it's like. It's kind of hard to pick, but I'll go with the Nuggets for this one.
I don't disagree. I think there's no caveat. I just think the guys surrounding Nikola just need to show up. They should win this series, really. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. The Suns need too much out of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. It's just too. It's. I mean, how do you keep this consistency up if you're Devin Booker? I just don't know how you pull that off. It was 34 of 43 was Devin Booker's stat. 34 of 43.
Oh, there it is. Okay. 79%. That's still pretty crazy. Right? Of right now, he's 5 for 8, 19 points. So
in a 2-game span, that's the best shooting in NBA history. And Nikola was the first player in postseason history to average 40-point triple-double in 2 games, averaging 60% from the field.
These in 2 game stats is such a reach.
No, I know, because that's where they
it's those ESPN stats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find those funny.
This one is actually from let's see. That one's straight from TNT.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I get that. But so man, I tell you what, in the Lakers-Warriors series, just to go back just a second, I got to point out that there is one huge flaw in this series, and it's Jordan Poole. I forgot to mention it. Dude, this dude is pouting. He is, we talk about the bench the whole episode.
Yeah.
I think our whole like freaking every team we've talked about a bench player pretty much. This bench player, man, this guy has been just the worst. And he's so good. He's talented. He's a great offensive player, and he can kind of get into passing lanes and get steals, but he's really a poor defender.
Right. And even though like he hasn't shown really like he is talented, he is good, but we haven't really seen that aside from that one game. But everyone's gonna forget about that one game because of the shot he took at the end.
Oh,
so
well, that shot, man.
Here's the thing. Okay, personally, I'm not mad at that shot.
Nobody,
because if he would have made it, it's not a problem. And he was hot that day, right? It was like, I think people kind of overreacted to the shot that he took, because it's a shot that he can hit, and he has hit before.
Absolutely. But,
when he has a hot hand, that's just how the Warriors kind of go. Oh yeah, obviously he had enough time to probably get a better one.
He was like a third splash brother. Yeah, and well, man, if he would have stepped in before he got the ball, while Draymond was making that pass, if he had worked to step in, taking the shot, I think that would have been way smart.
And then the closeout was coming aggressively, so he could have just avoided it. Just take a dribble in or something, right? He had
done anything, a Jordan Poole move, he does them all the time. But no, seriously, his stats for the season, compared to what he's doing in the playoffs, he averaged 20 points a game in the season, 4.5 assists, but in these playoffs he's only averaging 10 points a game.
What's his shooting splits? Do you have those?
Shooting splits
from season to playoffs. Yeah.
Well, 33% in the season from 3, 27.
It's just it's a drop off, man.
It's bad. That's that's no good. 7% or 6%.
So how much do you think him getting paid could factor into this, right? Because he doesn't have to play for that contract anymore. He kind of you get that sense of security, right? So I'm not saying that he got the money, he stops caring, right? Because you always want to win, you want to do your best, but there's less of that urgency, less of that trying to have to prove yourself, because he did it last year. But you got to keep that up. Last year there was real conversations who's better between him and Tyler Hero, right?
Yeah,
stupid discussion, but he's showing us. Jordan Poole this season is showing us that Tyler Hero is better. But it kind of sucks. You want to see more out of him for sure.
No, I don't disagree. Like I said, I just had to get that off my chest, man, because the Warriors deserve better out of him, and I think that's really the reason they can't get over the hump, because part of their bench problem is Jordan Poole, because he's supposed to come off of it and give them great minutes, and in his minutes, he's getting 21 minutes. He was complaining about his minutes. He's getting less minutes than he was in the season. But still, you got
to play good to earn your minutes. It's not we're not going to reward bad play with more minutes. That's not how the league works. And I've seen reports saying that there's some locker room tensions, right? I'm a wrestling fan. Backstage is what they.
I see John Cena behind you.
Yes, sir. And you gotta that in itself is another factor now, because if you're having some problems with this guy off the court, right?
Remember the punch?
Yeah, that's gonna come back during the offseason. I already know that's gonna be a story.
And it already is.
It is a story, and obviously, they even said Draymond and Clay Jordan and Clay. Jordan and Draymond, man, I'm tripping. They haven't been the same since, right? they can be cool with each other, but like they
Yeah,
have
but
been
I
in the
feel
same.
like them young
And
guys don't trust none of the vets.
I mean, yeah, because also the vets don't treat the young guys like they used to. It's like the vets used to be the type of guys that would help out the younger dudes and like point them in the right direction. Nowadays, we're not seeing that as much in the league, so it's like there's less of the connection from rookies to vets,
Oh, there's no.
especially especially with teams like the Rockets who have no vets, right?
Yeah.
And that's a direction that they're going with. The Pistons off they have Bogdanovich, right? But even
Yeah.
if they had intentions of trading him,
Yep.
right? Like they didn't want to keep him to be a presence. They just wanted to get his value up and then get
The
somebody
Lakers were
for
trying to
him.
get him.
Right. Almost got him.
Almost got him. Yeah.
Yeah, man. These playoffs are just gonna come down to who has the best bench ultimately, right? Who can get you the best production? Because these starting lineups are going at it, right? And at the end of the day, it's coming out who's coming off the bench and who's giving you that production. It's
Yeah, because these starters are learning each other. You know what I mean?
right. They playing each other every game. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, Cody said it best, man. Benches, man. Watch them benches, man. So, man, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This was Set the Record. Meditate. Make it go away.
You're